Good afternoon, hooligans. Jay Hooligan here,
Hooligan V.
and welcome to our second episode of Live Lunch, and we were actually eating this time. We'll apologize beforehand because we've heard some construction and stuff going on earlier today, so if we do have to cut out early because you can't hear us, then we apologize for that, but we still wanted to do our live lunch and talk about more of what's going on in the film industry. Before we get into that, though, I wanted to take a few steps back to redact what I had mentioned. Something I had mentioned, was it this week? I'm pretty sure it was earlier this week or last week in one of our lives, and I had mentioned how there was a case of child abuse in the sexual manner of somebody in Disney that was convicted. And I had mentioned it was John Healy. I wanted to pull that back because John Healy only had allegations toward him, and he was being taken to trial. He was the composer for Disney, or sound artist, I forget which one. It had something to do with music. And but there was news that his third trial, I think, got thrown out last week. So I wanted to redact that because the person I was talking about was actually Michael Laney, who was the former VP of the Disney company. So that's something you can look up on your own. You can see how nobody has actually reported on it. There's actually been more reports on John Healy, especially getting his cases thrown out and whatnot, especially in the last week. But still, from 2019, this fool who had abused a 7-year-old only got 6 years in prison in Oregon, in Portland, no less. So I just wanted to send out that correction before we got into what we're going to be talking about today, which kind of goes back to the whole vertical integration and everything that we've been talking about on there, and with some articles that we found, because again, if you're at our last live lunch or our first live lunch, we mentioned that Bob Chapek, the CEO of Disney, is trying to say, oh, well, it's because of, they're trying to blame consumers, saying it's consumers' fault that we're shortening the windows. They're so impatient, so we have to vertically integrate to satisfy them. Not that they're actually trying to essentially phase out theaters completely and vertically integrate. If you don't know what vertical integration is, we talk about it. Bless you.
Thank you.
We talk about it a lot. It is literally monopolizing the industry, their industry, where they have everything from the ground all the way up through distribution, and you only pay this company over and over and over and over again. Okay? So, alright, let's get into it. What do we got on here? You got anything to add?
No.
Not yet?
No.
Alright. So, what we have on here. So first thing, because our subject today is how movie theaters should bandwidth indies again. Why? Because, well, in 1920, indies and movie theater owners band together against the big six studios to essentially take down their vertical integration moves. Now, I haven't heard of any litigations that are going on now, and unfortunately you get news like this. This way. News like this going up over here where more theaters are shutting down. Alright, so from IndieWire, the Alamo Drafthouse has filed bankruptcy. They will be shutting down. But this particular article actually starts going into how other theaters like Cinemark won't be playing Raya and the Last Dragon. So the new Disney tentpole, which they're trying to, it's an animation tentpole, huh?
Wow.
Yeah. So which they're trying to push. And if you go through this article, which we'll go over in a sec, it's because Disney has been trying to push for these mandates in their contracts that are non-beneficial to theaters. It's just like how they were, other studios, they made deal with other studios. Was it Warner Brothers and Warner Brothers took all their full 2021 slate out. Was it Universal? Like their deals with Universal from a 90-day tentpole release to a 45-day, and then more deals to a 30-day and even as low as 17 days. Because you imagine that's only 2 weeks in theaters. So how do you expect them to survive on that, for one? It's not a good business model. So if Disney is trying to do a much more stringent deal, yeah, they're absolutely trying to phase out theaters. It's ridiculous, man.
Well, for like the award ceremonies, don't they have to spend a certain amount of time?
It's not that much. It's not that much time.
I feel like,
It's like 48 hours or something like
To
that.
balance.
24 hours to 48 hours in the theater release to get for awards. It's so
I thought it was like 90 days.
I think I mentioned it was like 2
3
weeks.
weeks.
I forgot to look it up, but it's really, really short.
But a way to balance that, I guess, would be for the awards committee to have them require them to be in theater for so long.
But that's the thing. It's like they changed all their rules anyway because of all the lockdowns. So that's why there's more nominations out there this year.
I mean, I can understand
for
that.
like the what is it for the Academy, not Academy Awards, yeah, the Academy Awards, the Oscars, the Oscars. So for the Oscars, yeah, they have a much larger list of films because they changed the rules because of lockdown.
Right, I can understand it for last year, but going forward,
Okay, going
they
forward,
would.
look at all the moves that they're doing. They're not even
Yeah.
they're not trying to go back to what it was at
I'm
all.
saying they should.
They should, but they're not going to. And they're going to blame everyone. And like I said, Bob Chapek is already blaming us, the consumers, all of us as audience members, that we're the reason why. Because we're so impatient. We want it right now. We cannot. It's as if he got millions of letters from
Fans.
consumers and fans going, we demand it now. And that just is not true whatsoever. They make their calls on their own, with their lawyers, with their board, all these things, all these weird deals that they're making behind the scenes. And then they're going to blame you and me and everyone else, all the plebes, right? It's like
Just like how they buy out theater seats, they're just crying
manipulating.
out.
Manipulating information to make our case of movie theaters banding together again with indie filmmakers because we're getting the pinch, they're getting the pinch. It's about time that people and theater owners step up again, just like we did 100 years ago in 1920. All right, so after a devastating 2020, it's supposed to be 2020. After a devastating 2020, exhibitors are united in their desire for survival. Their approaches are not. For Alamo Drafthouse, that means Chapter 11 bankruptcy, reorganization, closing 3 locations and selling out to private equity investment group. The Alamo founder Tim League retaining a minority stake. For Cinemark, it means turning away the opportunity to play Disney's animated Raya and the Last Dragon, March 5th. Nearly a year after domestic theaters closed in response to the growing COVID-19 threat, exhibitors face another reckoning. Now what? Their core business of showing movies for profit remain the same, but each theater or chain must also confront its own sets of strengths and weaknesses in order to move forward. That process places them on many different paths. All right, get a little bit of lag on here. What's up? No. All right, for Cinemark, it means turning away the opportunity to play Disney's. And no, I just read that, didn't I? Oh, because it distract me. The Drafthouse reorganization announced March 4th will allow its 37 owned and operated locations, as opposed to their franchises, to operate in the short term, increase their ability to negotiate with landlords, and potentially regroup. It's a sequence we've seen before with the much larger AMC, which currently operates under bankruptcy protection. If moviegoing makes a substantial recovery, this approach positions Alamo to benefit. Even if exhibition shrinks significantly with theater closings, those that remain could add to the box office with less competition. That makes near-term financial grounding important. So, Alamo will close the Ritz in Austin, Texas, as well as theaters in Kansas City, Missouri, and New Braunfels, Texas. The Kansas City location gained notoriety last summer when employee complaints about working conditions gained national attention. Alamo will also discontinue development of a new site in Orlando, Florida. Cinemark, another Texas-based circuit, has reportedly refused to play Disney's animated Raya and the Last Dragon, which debuts March 5th. I like how they're trying to just keep plugging it in.
Yeah.
The first day that New York theaters can reopen for business. Of course it is. Per Deadline, Harkins Theaters, dominant in Arizona, and Cineplex in Canada, also won't play the film. So good on them. On the surface, it's a strange choice. Raya is highly anticipated, and the appetite for animation is high. Last weekend, Warner Brothers' title Tom and Jerry opened to nearly $14 million. Like Tom and Jerry, which is available day and date on HBO Max, Raya debuts concurrently on Disney Plus for those subscribers who also pay $29.99 for a 48-hour rental. See, like I said, exactly what they did with Mulan. However, that's not where Cinemark's objections lie. Industry sources confirm that exhibition terms are the problem. In pre-COVID times, most major circuits and studios created a sliding scale of rental rates based on domestic total gross. For studios, that's a lot less attractive in the face of severely reduced box office. These deals are never made public, but sources suggest Disney has been more aggressive than other studios in its demands. In the short term, this hurts the exhibitors. While it denies revenue to Disney, in many cases, other theaters or other streaming platforms will have available screens that replace some of the loss. It also represents a kind of brinksmanship that can have unexpected consequences. A one-film failure to come to terms is very unusual, but the Cinemark stance is meant to tell Disney that the theaters can't and won't operate under onerous terms. A strike's success generally runs in parallel to the absence of alternatives, and for Disney and many other studios, that's not the case. Upcoming in May are Black Widow and Cruella, and while Disney has committed to their dates, it's made no promises as to the platform. Ooh.
It's getting a little windy and out of here.
Yeah, it is getting a little windy and a lot of stuff going on. Again, apologize.
I said
And motorcycle.
loudy.
Huh?
I said loudy.
Loudy, yeah. Again, I know the wind's picking up. It's about that time. If enough theaters refuse to play shock and awe titles like Raya or even Marvel, Disney could lose the premium presentation that fans want, along with their enthusiasm. Yeah, but Disney doesn't care. You
Like,
say
"You'll
that they
see it
don't care,
anyway."
man. It's really blatant. Hey, you guys are so impatient. We're just gonna put it to Disney Plus. Forget the theatrical. So which one is it? Either you're anticipating a theatrical release, or you're anticipating to go see the film. Like, it's not either or. It's just if you're just anticipating to see the film, then yeah, you're gonna try to say, but it's the consumer's fault because they're so impatient. We're just gonna put it to Disney Plus.
You're right. Consumers do want to see that in theaters,
Yeah.
especially really big fans. You know,
Absolutely.
why see it on your tiny little computer screen or your TV screen where it's not as great as high resolution as it is in theater, right?
Yeah.
And that experience of the surround sound.
Yeah. So it does say on here, on the other hand, it could also encourage further streaming adoption and push more Disney Plus customers to pay the $29.99. Again, I mean,
That's okay. I'll just wait till it comes out for free.
yeah, wait till it comes out for free now. That's where the impatience is coming from. Dude, if anything, you get a better experience in the theater. It's a different experience. That's why you go out there. It's just like going to eat out at a restaurant. It's different than eating at home. You go for the experience, to be out, to be social around other people. That's the whole point of it. We are social beings. That's what it requires. That's what we require. You know, going to a theater is different than your home theater. And I like how they try to make it a home theater. You don't have a home theater. You have a home with the television. Unless you're rich or one of the elitists that has their own theater in their home, you do not have a home theater. All right, you could have something a pseudo home theater, which is still not the same. You could boost it up, and I'm not saying that there's not some people out there that do have that, or that don't have them. Excuse me, that they probably do, and they've set it up that way. But the average person out there does not. You know, your movie experience is a movie experience,
Especially
experience.
Disney. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
Especially Disney, and you think about it, like a lot of families go out together, you know, to enjoy that with each other.
Get out of
especially
the
with their
house.
kids or whatever. Like they're like, let's go to the movies, you know.
So on the same day, Draft House announced its bankruptcy. Angelica Film Center announced that it would expand its brand to include the Village East and Cinema 123. In reality, I'm sure it's 123. In reality, this represents little more than a logo change. Parent company Reading International owns 58 theaters under a half dozen brand names. including Angelica and City Cinemas. The Angelica expansion is actually brand consolidation. The Village East and Cinema 123 were previously marketed under City Cinemas. Key Southern California locations remain closed, of course, but San Francisco is reopening theaters with a 25% capacity. It's a positive move, however small. The city itself has only a few theaters, many more in the much larger Bay Area, which is already in operation. More encouraging is Sony's decision to move its release of Peter Rabbit 2, The Runaway, because everyone's looking forward to that. May 14th. Previously June 11th. I'm sorry, it's like we watched Peter Rabbit before.
There's probably people.
I'm sure there is, but it's not like it's like this huge tentpole movie that's highly anticipated. Like, hey guys, Peter Rabbit 2. Oh my gosh, it's coming out finally. Like,
Did
you don't
just judge its rating? Wow.
Did I just judge its rating? Come on, just to be honest, like, I mean, it was a fun movie. They had it, but it's not something you hear people say.
Peter Rabbit is.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Alright, so yeah, they changed that to May 14th as opposed to June 11th. This suggests confidence that most theaters... Ain't a plane. I'm not holding for plane, sorry. This suggests confidence that most theaters could be open by then, and that the family film audience is eager to return. Family film is eager to return. Best of all, for theaters, Sony provides a longer theatrical window than most studios. Again, dude, telling you, this whole situation of shortened theatrical windows is stupid. They're trying to phase out theaters. Theater owners, you guys got to wake up. And some of them are. They're not standing up for Disney, trying to muscle their way in so they can get phased out. Again, it's modern day block booking is what they're doing. You don't know what block booking is? Again, that was a practice of why movie theaters and indie filmmakers came together, because they weren't getting shown at the premiere locations of the studio's theaters. Studios owned their own theaters, their own distribution platforms back in the 1900s, early 1900s, and they were only giving the scraps of what they wanted to all these third-party theater owners. So instead, they were literally trying to vertically integrate. You guys get whatever the hell we want you to get, but we're going to keep in our studios and our platforms and our locations what we want, because we know it's going to bring in the most money. Highly anticipated. That's what they said in here. That's exactly what they're doing. Exactly. On the TV side, I found this article. It has to do with A&E. A&E Networks pushes for change in how TV ads are sold. The gist of this one, I'm not going to go over it, is essentially that cable, because we mentioned how cables, they're trying to phase it out. They're trying to move everything to the internet, so then they're all considered new media, and all under the boot of these top 4 or 5 owners of all of entertainment. So now they're trying to move in with deals for this to include streaming, right? They want to they're trying to do ad space on cable for streaming platforms. That's what this whole article was about here. The last article that we have that I found was Warner Media CEO Jason Kilar on Movie Outlook and adapting cheaper AVOD tier to HBO Max. It turns out that most people on this planet are not wealthy. Oh, really?
Wow.
Such insight, bro. And again, so what I found interesting in this one was he goes on, where is it? Because I know he says it in here. And he says that he agrees with Chapek. He's trying to say, no, I agree with him. I agree with what he's saying, and that we can't go back to to 2015 pre-COVID and how it's going to look on that. I mean, there's no other thing. We're in. What did he say? Oh, here we go. Though he said he agreed with the sentiments of Disney CEO Bob Chapek and others, who have indicated that, quote, it's hard to imagine going back to 2015, end quote. In terms of release windows, screw theaters. We can't help theaters. Sorry, guys. Even though their revenue has bumped up in 2020 and in 2021, we can't go back because the money's too good. That's what they're telling us. That's what they're telling theater owners. They're telling you guys, hey, screw you guys. We're getting more money than we had before. We're getting all that. We don't need you anymore, and we're going to vertically integrate. we're going to monopolize the industry. And they're openly doing it. Hey, I agree, man. It's just the impatient customers. Get out, man. Get out.
Somebody's got to call them out.
Yep. And we're calling them out. Movie theaters, fantastic of you guys standing up. Now it's time to take legal action. That's the thing. That's exactly what happened in 1920. We're already in 2021. There's a year that we haven't had that because of all the lockdowns. But moves are still exactly the same, man. Still exactly the same. So again, Warner Brothers and the future of the movie business took up a large portion of the session. Killar again did not get specific as to the outlook for Windows, though he said he agreed with the set. That was the first part of that. So he didn't decide to go into it, but he said he agreed. All right, that's the business. I'm not going to answer your question, but I agree with that. Yeah. Let's just be vague and not let them know what we're trying to do, even though they're still announcing this crap. Alright? And here's the other BS that's in here. We're still in the experimentation mode. No, you're not. This has been done 100 years ago, and what helped save them, what helped them get out of that in 1940s, the 1948, going into the 1950s, was television. Now they've got stream. So this is before any litigation came out. Then now they already have that, and they're already getting paid like buku money, man. So all this and a bag of popcorn chips. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Plain.
Yeah, plain. Fine, I get it. Man. So I know it's man. I know people do flight lessons out here too.
It's a busy day today.
It's a very busy day today. Nerd. But I swear, man, this sort of stuff, it's really disheartening to see. Like I said, and I try to mention this as much as I can. Disney is already, from last, I want to say October. It was October, November, around October time frame. They discontinued all their 4K Blu-rays and DVD sales. And then they try to go, oh, well, we look at all the numbers. Just people aren't buying it. Guess what? Now you got stuff like Amazon, banning certain books. Even people who have bought it, and that this could be wrong too. Say, like, if you bought a Kindle version of, say, Dr. Seuss, they're trying to ban. It's so stupid. It's the dumbest thing in the world. They're trying to ban Dr. Seuss. Thing is, though, if you've bought it if you've actually paid money for the digital copy of it, they've taken it off of Kindle. Why they're not selling it? But that's dumb. So you are no longer allowed to have and own the things that you want to own. You are literally getting the things that you want,
only what
literature and movies and stuff. Yeah, only one that they approve. It is dumb and stupid. Yes, I understand that was the same thing, but yes, that's how dumb it is. That's how ridiculous it is. It's dumb and stupid. It's dumb. It's stupid dumb. Yeah, that's gonna be my new one. But I mean, that's the thing. That's what's going on right now, and it's funny because I just saw a meme. It's like, oh, what's being banned in 2021 is Dr. Seuss, but what was number one or up for number one song? Was it 2018, 2019? WAP. Yeah.
Pop or WAP?
WAP. I'm not gonna say it.
I don't know.
I had to look that up because I'm like, what the hell is WAP? I'm like, oh, this is
Wings
stupid.
and Pizza.
No, if she were singing about that, great. I'd probably listen to it, but she is not.
No, that's a Kids Bop version. I heard it. I was like, really?
Then they hear the song on the radio and go, oh, this is the kid. Oh, wait, what's the lyrics? And then, no, that's not how that works. It's not how it's gonna go. Anyway, but that's it. I mean, like,
The Cat in the Hat in lockdown.
The Cat in the Hat in lockdown. You are no longer allowed to read Cat in the Hat.
I'm gonna make that.
It's racist. But you're allowed to make WAP and be a number one seller that's promoted and put in recommended videos all over YouTube. For kids to see. Even and there's other ones too that are way worse, I think, that are on recommended lists, and I've seen them up there. I was like, what?
There was, sorry,
No, you're fine.
There was this Ariana Grande music video that I saw, and she's literally dressed up like a little girl, and every single girl in there is dressed up.
Is that the
like
one?
that too. Oh no, then you showed me one too.
Yeah, that's the one I was showing you. I was
Yeah, but-
showing you one because I forget somebody was talking about it. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. There's no way. And sure enough,
Oh, yeah.
not a violation of YouTube YouTube
I think that's what I was thinking of.
policies. Yeah, I don't think it was Ariana Grande.
But I think Ariana Grande, I've seen
You've seen her do
play
something
off,
similar to
but
that.
not as bad as that one was.
Yeah.
I forget what that was though.
Yeah,
Don't
it
think
was.
so.
It wasn't even only that. That the video. I forget what it was. It's because I don't want to advertise. It's the girl didn't even know how to sing, and I guess she was like a rapper, or not even a rapper.
Well, the whole
she
point
tried
is
to
that
sing.
there's
The-
this little girl, like sexualization of this, like being a little
Yeah.
little kid.
There was
right?
there's a bunch of girls in like this is like a pink room, and it looks like it's a child's
Like a
room.
dollhouse or something
Yeah,
like that?
almost like a dollhouse. No, I kind of looked at it as like a child's bedroom because of all this stuff, and they try to do like double pigtails, and all of them wearing like thongs and I almost swore and stuff like that. Sorry, dude, this stuff irritates me so bad because it's like it's right there out in the open, and then people are getting censored over Dr. Seuss. Stupid, man. Come on. You know who else used to censor that stuff? Who actually literally said, oh, well, actually, where'd my phone go? Because I ended up posting it up on Twitter just because I wanted to see if it would, and it's kind of I actually feel like it's worse than what Gina Carano did, because I actually threw a quote up there because it came from well, here actually, I'm going to let you see if you guys know. So, the quote, part of the quote that I highlighted, says, "We want to burn out all the recent immoral developments in literature, in the theater, and in the press. In short, we want to burn out the poison of immorality which has entered into our whole life and culture." Sound familiar? Does that sound familiar? What's going on today? They're taking down Dr. Seuss in literature, right?
Should we just have them Google it?
Huh? What's that?
Just have them Google the line?
Google, yeah, you can Google the line. I mean, I don't want, maybe I shouldn't say, but it rhymes with stayed off. That was swear again. That was accident.
I'll say it.
Bitler, yeah, shade off Bitler. Sounds very much like that. He was the one who said it, and you wonder, like, man, at that time he was talking about Christians. It doesn't matter what group or political party you're talking about, the move is still the same. I had this discussion with somebody about one side using the same tactics as the other. It's like they do it all the time, and some are more successful than other because of optics, because more people see this, the more people get behind it. And I mean, this is outside of even the whole, like, at first it was Mr. Potato Head, and it was like, that was pretty dumb on itself. And now it's like, well, now they're going after Dr. Seuss. Come on, man, this is the dumbest thing. But what happened? These things where they're over sexualizing children or trying to make it. Don't even get me started on that stupid Cuties movie. I didn't even bother seeing. Here's a problem with that movie. Again, you can try to align with the director saying, but it's about oppression of femininity and girls in this country. Fine, that's great. Do you realize that the male producers of Cuties ended up watching 650 audition videos of little girls twerking? 650 little girls twerking in their audition process. They watched that stuff. Please tell me again how this is not some sort of exploitation of over-sexualizing of young girls. Please make your argument on that. You want to agree with the director? Okay. 650 young girls sent in their damn audition videos twerking to these producers. Get out of here, man.
But green eggs and ham.
Yeah, but green eggs and ham is offensive. That's literally one of them on the list.
Green eggs and ham.
Yeah, it's
So
fiction, man. It's fiction. It's so ridiculous, dude.
I said it's racist.
It's so dumb,
Because it's
dude.
green.
Dude, there was one of I don't know if it was in the Green Eggs and Hams, but it was like, look at this depiction of an Asian guy in a freaking what they call a China cap. They even call that the China hat is also a kitchen tool because it looks like a Chinaman's hat that they have on there, right? And he's got slanted eyes. Oh my gosh, it's so racist. Like, Asians don't have slanted eyes? Come on, dude. I'm part Chinese. I know I got slanted eyes. I get it. So the F what? It's like when that whole thing where like, you can't say Oriental. It's like, I say Oriental all the time. There's literally a ramen or a ramen flavor that says Oriental style. Who
There's
cares?
a restaurant, Oriental Express.
Oh, Oriental Express. Who cares? Gosh, dude, nobody's getting offended about this stuff. The people that get offended about it aren't even Asian. Why? Because we use it all the dang time. It's stupid. It's stupid on so many levels. It's so ridiculous. Ugh. Anyway, so just the whole censorship idea. This whole thing with not just that, but theaters, like, again, a lot more need to wake up. I'm happy that Cinemark and these other theater chains are starting to wake up. They're refusing to play all this stuff to be bullied by Disney. However, at the same time, they need to wake up to their own history. Again, 100 years ago, man, 1920, they vertically integrating. And then it wasn't until 1948 that the Supreme Court finally ruled. Dude, that was almost 30 years later. They finally ruled that, the Big Six are vertically integrating. So it is illegal. And it violates the Sherman Antitrust Law. And again, if you don't understand what the Sherman Antitrust Law does, I suggest you guys look that up to see what it means. And then look up in the history. It's in the archives. It's not that hard to find. U.S. versus Paramount. Ruling was in 1948. Okay? It's not that hard to find. And then again, it started with movie theater owners and indie filmmakers. Ergo, that's why I wanted to call it that, is that movie theaters should band together with indie filmmakers again, with the indies again, to get back into, like, hey, take down these big studio giants because they want to phase you out. They don't care about you, theater owners. They don't. There were already articles, like, this is something we've been keeping track of for a long time. There are already articles from last year saying we just don't have the product. Modern day block booking. That's what it is. It's modern day block booking. Alright? They decide who gets what movie, whether it's a highly anticipated one like Raya, but then they get to set the terms of what they want to do, or they just bypass them completely and go straight to their streaming platform, or they try to do a same day release to go, hey, yeah, you know what? Now we're offering a competitor between the people that we sent it out to, the theaters that we said it was okay, yeah, you guys can do it, but we're going to put it on our stream platform. You guys only get it for maybe 17 days, maybe 30 days, but we get it, and we're just going to keep streaming it for forever because it's our own movie. Vertical integration. Okay? Build from the bottom, own every process up all the way through distribution. Okay? Yes, I know a lot of people say like that's just how business works. However, again, in this industry, there have been literal litigation against vertically integrated because of how powerful they are getting and have been. You know, they're just getting richer, and they want to shut down everybody else. I can almost see this as like, you know what? Because there was talk. I remember there was talk about having streaming theaters. Theaters that would show streaming movies and series. Maybe not series, streaming movies.
That?
Oh, that was a while ago. I can't tell. I can't remember if that was last year or the year before. People were already talking about that. Now imagine this: all these theaters shut down, all of them. You could only go to stream. You could only go on the internet. But everybody is missing theaters. Now what? Hey, look at Disney comes in with Disney theaters to stream their movies on, to recreate the lost art of theater going. That's just a conjecture, but you know what?
Trying to reap all the benefits.
Yeah, they're reaping all the benefits from it. For something they actively participated in shutting down. Experimentation mode. Get out, man. Come on. Are you serious? We're still experimenting. Yeah, you're experimenting with vertical integration and how to phase out any other third party. So then you can modern day block book them and say like, yeah, you get it. Like I said, licensing deals, because it's all digital now, is modern day block booking. You know, people are going to argue, no, oh, it's not block booking because we don't have physical media. It's like, yeah, that's why I keep saying it's modern day block booking, because it is a change, but it is exactly the same practice. The practice is the same. I don't understand, like, how are people not, or how these theater owners aren't doing it. And like I said, I should just call them out or just email them, try to contact them. NATO, and not the government NATO. The NATO is the National Association of Theater Owners. They really need to get on top of that. Yeah, they're all trying to survive. I think theater operations are down to about 45% in the United States. I'm trying to remember where I saw that graphic, but yeah, we're down to 45% capacity for theaters being open, and a lot of them had to file for bankruptcy just to stay open. But now you got Disney and all these guys, Warner and Universal. You know, they're all trying to bypass it. They're trying to phase them out, and I don't agree with that. I enjoy the movie theater experience, just getting out, being, you know, like you're talking about, like surround sound and everything like that, like all that stuff. That's part of it. It's the theater experience. You know, now they want to take it away, and like I said, I can see it as, well, we've got the money, but so many impatient customers want that theater experience back, so we're going to offer theaters again, and we're going to be right back to where we were 100 years ago. Oh, it's so frustrating. I can't help it.
I know.
But again, all you theater owners, whether you're privately owned or part of these chains, you gotta... refusing to play them, that's great, but you gotta remember there's two sides to that. Now you're not getting the audience for that. Like, well, where can they see it then? Well, they're gonna go straight to the stream and pay $30 on top of their subscription fees. They're already paying the subscription fees if they didn't get it for free. You know, they're already paying the subscription fees. Now they're gonna have to pay an additional $30, which could be going to you guys, right? How very strategic how New York theaters are going to reopen with Raya and The Last Dragon. Like, are you kidding me? That it's like, oh, well, you know, we just timed it that way. It just worked out. It didn't work out. Come on, you guys planned this. I the same thing with Bob Chapek, same thing with the Killer. That whole idea of, we're just bumbling fools, just reacting to the market. Like, are you kidding me? You honestly believe, dude? That's the whole thing with Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh, business.
Yeah.
Business is thinking ahead.
Yeah, that's the whole thing with, like, Kathleen Kennedy. Like, I didn't know. Look, we're just. Well, yeah, that was the interview. There's so much that we can do, and it has to do with. Sorry, if I'm being sexist, I don't care. It's like, because Kathleen Kennedy sucks.
I think you're being more whiny than sexist.
Yeah, I'm more reading that. But she's like, what she literally said in an interview, like, oh, the problem with Hollywood is, you know, there's not enough opportunities for strong women. You know, to really highlight strong women. It's like, dude, you've been a producer since what, E.T.? There's not enough women in the positions of power to make these big decisions. I'm like, dude, you literally just fired Gina Carano. Like, you were in a position of power. You've been in a position of power. You've been a producer.
What has she done about it, though?
Since, like, E.T., dude. Like, right? Come on.
What has she done about it? What has she done to push women in that direction, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what she's been doing? She's been trying to push blame off to somebody else. That was the last rumor earlier this week, is she's trying to get somebody else to go and say, you guys fired him. You need to make a public statement, because she is a coward with no spine, and she cannot take the ramifications of how all these fans are discontinuing their Disney Plus, discontinuing Dude, if you go to the Star Wars page on YouTube, all their videos getting downvoted. Why? Because you're making stupid political moves over stuff in art. Separate the art from the artist. You don't agree with Gina Carano's policies or what she believes in? Fine. But don't, take her away from that. That's straight up discrimination. That is open discrimination. Because she said so. Dude, she even mentioned in the interview, like, her and Pedro Pascal, opposite sides of the spectrum. completely respect each other. They have a mutual understanding, like an unspoken agreement, like that they understand. They're just two passionate people about their stuff. That's how it's supposed to be. People talking to each other again. Disagree, and I've said this before. People always talk about coexistence. The key word today, what people like to use, is unity. They've been using that for the past decade. We're all for unity, guys. Unity. And then they make all these anti-unity moves and statements. They all want unity. No, they don't. They want you to agree with them. That is not unity. Unity and coexistence, man. I say they're the same thing, but I used to say true coexistence can only happen until every single person can disagree with each other and still be alright with it. You're not getting that at all. You got such a huge divide everywhere. And again, it's optics, and optics matter. Optics are huge. It's what can be seen. Okay? Whether they're feigning it or not, like Bob Chapek and Killar and Kathleen Kennedy, like they're feigning. Like, guys, I don't know. We're experimenting still. We're experimenting. I guarantee you, as owners and operators of two businesses, of video production businesses, I can tell you for a fact, they're not just reacting.
It's a little bull.
To impatient consumers, impatient audience members. Yeah, we're just reacting to all of them. Yep, they're just reactions. Like, no, that's not how it works at all, and that's not what's going on. They're gonna tell you that stuff to make you go, oh well. Guess what? You don't have to believe everything you hear. You don't have to believe everything you read. I take a lot of these with a grain of salt, but when they start quoting these people for a fact, like, I agree. You agree with what? Bob Chapek said, they're thinking about the shorter theatrical windows because he, quote, said it's due to impatient customers. You start quoting that's a direct quote. And it's like, nope, I don't think so, dude. So again, I know we stay a lot into a lot of these film news outlets because we want to be on the up and up of what's going on in our industry. At the same time, what is being used as optics? What is being used to feign like they're always on your side? Right? Because that's the thing. If you're gonna feign that you're on somebody's side or somebody's on your side, when they're literally taking advantage of you out in the open, all right, let's put it this way. You're the owner of Disney, okay? You want to make more money than you've ever made before. What would you say to your consumers? What would you say publicly? Guarantee you it wouldn't be like, give me all your money. That's not how that works. You will no, that's lower, much lower level crime. It's like, you will absolutely manipulate somebody to trick somebody into giving you their money. Hey man, I just know the industry and the numbers. We're just experimenting and reacting. I can't help it, they want it. No, you're not offering any other alternatives. Ergo, vertically integrating, monopolizing the industry. Again, man. Whew. All this stuff is... my blood pressure's going up. Just a little bit, yeah. Anyway, but that's the thing. I guess I should clarify, even though I have a pirate shirt on, that's not meant like to be a digital pirate. I'm not illegally downloading stuff. I don't like that. I'm much more of a advocate for going and paying to see people's stuff, their art, buying their merch and whatnot, to actually support them because they will need support. Because a lot of times they're paying out of pocket. So if you are going to go see it, I try not to get bootleg stuff. I'd rather go to the show and pay to go see it than just be handed a free copy or try to illegally download. So this pirate, as you can tell, it's got the swords on here, so it is an actual pirate, like an old school pirate, which this is part of our RPG IRL line on the Wandering Killsman.
Sailed the 7 seas.
Sailed the 7 seas, yes. But also my high school mascot was pirates, so it just fits, and these were actually kind of the colors. I'm like, I'm just gonna get this shirt color with this logo, and it works out perfect. And it's like, oh, it's just like I'm back in high school again. Not really. Oh man, what else? What else we got on this? Because again, I feel like I just keep going off on this stuff.
I mean, it's just all the same thing, you know. Like I said, I would want to see the awards committee be like, they have to mandate them being in theater for a certain amount of time, you know. Because if you mandate them being in theater for a certain amount of time, at least you're going to guarantee that theaters get some type of revenue and that chance to actually show them and build like a marketing plan.
Yeah. Like I said, what happened to that whole thing? Like the CAA at the end of 2020, last year, end of last year in December, they came out going like, "Hey guys, your new distribution plan sucks. You guys keep going to streaming, and we're not getting paid what we're by contract supposed to be getting paid. All right, investors are not getting paid back what they want or what they put in and agreed upon in their contracts. Like, yeah, you guys bypass the theatrical experience. You're bypassing a big one. By the way, AVOD, I know I mentioned in that one article that stands for advertising video on demand, which is video on demand but with commercials where companies buy ad space in the middle of your shows or movies, and then they'll play those ads every so often, and that's how they get their revenue, so they can offer it for free at that point. It's typically one of your last tiers of distribution.
It is your last tier.
Yeah, it's one of them, because now it's getting to the point where like, well, TV might even be below that because they're trying to phase
Really?
out cable.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So again, it's one of your last options for distribution, digital distribution. And the first one was supposed to be movie theater ticket sales. That's a big one. That's usually your first one. That's where you get back a majority of your sales or your money, the revenue that you put in, your money you put into your film. Majority of that comes from theatrical experiences, theatrical releases. Now they're not getting it because Disney again and everyone else is trying to push for shorter and shorter theatrical windows, or just putting it out at the same day releases, which they've already shown back in the early 2000s that don't work. It doesn't work, but they're still experimenting. Okay, buddy, sure. What's another crap sandwich you want us to eat? You know, it's I call it a BS sandwich, right? You want to serve me a BS sandwich and tell me it tastes like the best thing in the world? It's like, no, I don't bite on those. Sorry, I will always question, what it is. Always. It's always best to question all the media you consume. That's what I was saying. You don't have to take everything they say as if it's 100% true. That's the problem with especially with a lot of mainstream media and optics. That has to do with optics. You put out I got fooled by one. There was somebody's video saying Jon Favreau was stepping down from Star Wars series, and it sounded like the way that it was worded was that he was stepping down from Star Wars, and it's not. He's actually stepping down from one series and moving to another because the main character he was thinking about highlighting in there was Cara Dune, who, guess what, is no longer there. Crazy. So he's switching over. He's like, nope, not gonna do that. So he's going in to highlight a different character. And Jon Favreau compared to Kathleen Kennedy. Jon Favreau is very much like a fan of Star Wars, so he wants to stay true to that. I think he even called up George Lucas to see what his ideas of Star Wars were, because there's a lot of promises that when George Lucas sold Star Wars to Disney, stay true to the characters, and a lot of promises they made to go, yeah, we'll do it. And they lied to him.
Well, I mean, they lied to Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Come on, it's not the first time.
That's Disney. It's not the first time. Yeah, all the way back from Aladdin. That's what you're talking about.
Who knows what further,
Yep.
Who knows how further
back
that goes.
Man.
Disney and...
Yeah, but that whole deal, if you don't know, Robin Williams said he would only do Aladdin because at the same time he was doing Ferngully for a different studio. But he said, because it was not a common practice back then, and he's like, look, I will only voice the genie if you do not use my celebrity status as a marketing ploy to sell tickets. And Disney said, trust us. No, we got it. We won't do it. Trust us. And then they did it. and that is the only way that they do now. That's the only way that they advertise animations now, through celebrity status. It used to be about the story. Go back and watch the old trailers and how they used to advertise for animations. You'll see they don't really advertise saying like, voiced by Robin Williams or voiced by. Now look at them today. There's a whole list of celebrities that are on here. Look at how much support and celebrity power we have on here, and it is absolutely exactly what Robin Williams did not want to happen, and it happened anyway because they lied to him, flat out to his face. Disney, man. Ugh. Like, I love your art, but get your heads out of those dark places. I'm trying really hard not to swear. It's proving a little rough.
Well.
Yes. So I mean, I'm not telling you guys you have to boycott Disney or to get rid of your Disney Plus. Again, I don't like Disney as a company, as people. You know, their art, it's great. You can still enjoy the art, but not enjoy the artist. I mean, that's even a common staple in the film industry. How many times you hear, you hear about, say, I don't know, Michael Bay. People enjoy his movies, but you know what? That dude, whew. Isn't there there was that one story where he...
A douche bucket.
Yeah, well, no, he ended up knocking coffee onto a PA, and then blamed the PA
Probably a dirty shirt.
for having a dirty shirt. Like, are you kidding me, dude? Yeah. He's a jackass.
A douche bucket.
Yeah, he's a douche bucket. That's it. The artist does not have to be... the artist and the art, the separation between the artist and the art is a real thing and can be a constant thing. And again, if you don't agree with their political policies because they're advocating for that, fine. But remember, they're a lot of these celebrities are being hired out by companies. So I'll look more for the companies.
Is that... I remember somebody mentioned it last week, was that, yeah, we're boycotting, like, people are boycotting Disney or whatever, and we boycott these businesses, but then, like, people that we know who work with them are now suffering because of it, you know?
They're not. Here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. They're not suffering.
Yeah, but without points.
Yeah, they're not suffering, dude. They're not. Honestly, they're not. The multi-millions that they're making. See their
movies?
You're saying that, but look... You forget there's this whole other stage, the international stage, that they're putting out there. Like I said, Disney just announced that they just acquired Star, which is like a TV style stream service, I believe. It's international. It's not here in the U.S. They are literally making moves so they can continue to bank off of everyone else and their company name power, their brand power, on all these other places that are not privy to it. Because they're not located here. They're located in United States, so far off, this far off land of opportunity. Now, no, they just don't know any better. So, who can they take advantage of now? To me, that's what it is. It's who can they take advantage of now? They did it to Robin Williams. They're doing it to movie theaters now. They did it. I don't think they were a part of that back in the day for vertical integration, but they're making the exact same moves. Like,
well, now you have Paramount doing it, so I mean, Paramount was what was the main case was against them, right?
No, the one that went to Supreme Court, yeah, Paramount, U.S. versus Paramount. Again, these are all archived. Nothing I'm saying is not, fake news or anything. These are researchable things. Anywhere from the old school Supreme Court cases to the indie film and movie theaters banding together. That's all in archives, dude. Even the stuff with Michael Laney, that the dang pedophile, convicted, former VP of Disney company. That's out there. It is out there. He was convicted. John Healy, yeah, he just got his case. These are all researchable things. They're all public record. It's out there. So,
anyways.
Yep. All right. We made it in the hour. Fantastic.
If you guys like it, comment below, subscribe.
Yeah.
In our store.
Absolutely. So again, yeah, if you like this, what we're doing, we're planning to do more of these just to keep keep you on the up and up and keep us on the up and up on what's going on in the film industry. As indie filmmakers, it's important for us to know what's going on instead of having this whole nebulous blindness that we go, oh, it's just what's going on. No, we want to be informed. We want to make informed decisions about stuff and not just knee jerk to, well, yeah, that's fantastic news for them. I think somebody even posted that, like, oh, I put on how Paramount announced their Paramount Plus and how that's just another move for vertical integration, and somebody first tweeted back to me going, oh yeah, Paramount movies are great. I'm like, yeah, they're great, but vertical integration, not so much. And then they realized, like, it wasn't an announcement for Paramount Plus as a positive thing. It was essentially like, oh, and then they came back and like, oh, thanks for your insight. That's like, okay, cool. Because then they realized, oh, it's not just that they're announcing this streaming platform. They're literally announcing how they're bypassing a lot of this and vertically integrating, and how that's bad for especially indie filmmakers. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, if you like these live launches, we're going to be doing more of these. Stay informed. Hit the subscribe button down below. Visit our store, thewanderingkillsman.com/shop. That's where all our RPG IRL shirts are. We do have a sale going on for St. Patty's Day. Get yours before it's too late. It takes 5 to 10 days for shipping because of print and ship. So you can have one by St. Patrick's Day. So I like them. Ours are actually on our way. Mm-hmm. So hopefully you'll see us next week with those in there. We'll see you guys later. This is Jay Hooligan.
Hooligan V.
For our live lunch Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon Pacific Standard Time. We'll see you guys later.